Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram, and today's video is a plan with me for the week of September 9th through the 15th using this paper trail plans kit called Crisp Foiled in Gold. It is an older kit, so I don't actually have a lot of the add-ons. So I had to go digging, or venturing, I guess is the more proper term, to go find what I needed. So you'll see that I pull in a couple of things from the Giving Girl from her Autumn Academia collection that she released somewhat recently. I know it's still in the shop. And I had stuff from the Pumpkin collection from Paper Trail Plans that I kind of debated on which color wash I wanted to use, since the bottom washies at this time were kind of they're just not my style, I guess is how I say that. I remember very distinctly around this time, if I'm correct, that the Kiss Cut floral washi was starting to become a big thing. Because I do remember when I purchased this kit and a different kit, there was like the Kiss Cut floral washi option and the like regular floral washi option. So I do distinctly remember that. So I knew I wanted to pull something different into my bottom washi, just because I didn't like how it looked, I guess. It was just too simple, too not fancy enough for me. Not that this is like super fancy or anything, but I had to figure out whether I wanted to go in this like slightly darker colorway, or did I want to pull towards the lighter colorway from the Pumpkin color wash. As we see, I did tend to go with the darker colorway just to bring a sense of weight to my spread, because the colors in this one are kind of light. The greens are a little bit on the brighter side, and those are kind of the colors I struggle with a little bit, as I've discussed before. So to bring some sort of weight, for me it's easier when things have a little bit of weight to them. I decided to pull in that color wash instead. For my sidebar, I had a vision when I got this foiled girl from Dash of Sun Designs, who I do PR for, information in the description box, that I wanted to do some sort of color behind her. And I had the alcohol, well, I think they were called watercolor splashes or something from the Giving Girl. But they were in kind of like the brown and greens. So I wish I had thought to maybe pull in a brown up towards like the top of her head. Just because I'm like not super in love with how I did it. It's a learning experience. So now that I've done it once, I'm like, okay, well, for next time you're going to do this so you can see this behind her. Da, 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 da. So it's always like the hardest thing when you try something new or use a new type of sticker. You're like, how do I do this so that it matches what's in my brain? And a majority of the time you don't. Sometimes you do, and it's magical when you do. But this was one of those cases where like it didn't fully meet the execution in my head. But it turned out like it's super pretty. It's just not exactly what I wanted. And I'm learning to to cope with that, I guess. Here I wanted to bring in more of the color wash, and I was like, well, the side's torn and I don't want that look, so I went and pulled in a second one. Luckily I had the foresight to buy two of these. So that's what is going on here, just creating some sort of like background to lay this foiled fall girl on, just so it's not so boring. If I could go back in time and tell past Kat what to do, it would be to get more watercolor splotches or alcohol inks so you could do more. But I think I also liked to challenge myself and just make use of whatever stickers were available. Because normally for me, unless I can think of the sticker, I just make use of like what is directly in front of me. So if I don't see it, I forget about it. Which is always kind of the struggle with. I feel like with a lot of us is like we with our ever growing sticker collections, remembering what you have and what you don't have is a little bit of a struggle for me. Um, Pulling in for the sidebar of pulling in some pumpkins, and I figured, maybe bringing in a quote because the top seemed kind of empty, I think is the best word. So I pulled in some foiled quotes from the Pretty Pink Co. I pulled in these large, like falling leaves from Bloom Paper Studio. They are on washi paper. So that was fun. I didn't want to go with the brown since I had so much of the brown in the spread already, but the September was peeking through and I didn't like how that looked, so we went back to the brown. Um, Again, the whiteout would be helpful, but I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. This kit also came with like a bunch of like fun pumpkin headers, um, which I sort of made use of, but I wish I made better use of. And I told Chelsea this. I was like, if you bring these scripts to the shop, I will buy them because I love these scripts. They're so fun. I like the flourishes. That's a pretty good size. So as I was talking about, I think sort of, well, if I wasn't, now I am. Since it is an older kit, and I didn't have the coordinating add-ons, I had to go figure out what would fit with this. However, the stuff that I did have, I was like, all right, so I see a sidebar, I see my bottom washi, but I don't really have a plan for anything else. Like day covers, no plan. I just knew, I was like, make sure you use these torn papers because they're really fun. Just make sure you try to pull in more of these elements. But yeah, no game plan, and I think it kind of shows in a sense because I'm like, this is very plain. I wanted to do more, but I couldn't figure out what else I wanted to do. So instead of stressing myself out, we just lay the stickers down and we were like, this is what it's gonna look like. This is it. Right? This is how it's going to look. So for the finishing touch on the top, I did bring in these garlands from Olive Planner Co., who's no longer open right now, but these garlands were just the way to bring some extra sparkle to the top. And then then the full boxes. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I figured let's just lay them across the center of the page. That's like as far as I got. So we kind of lay them down, figure them out. I do want to talk about the watercolor splotches. I keep saying splashes, watercolor, inks, whatever we want to call it. I forget what the Giving Girl calls them, but those were on her vivid white washi paper. And what's really nice is that, unlike transparent matte, which will show what's underneath, the vivid white doesn't show it to the same extent. It's a little more it's a little more opaque in a sense. So it's actually really nice to be able to layer on top of things, which is something I've been kind of struggling with, is how to layer things that cover things up, right? Obviously, when you layer something, you're going to end up covering something else. So for me, I don't know if this is anybody else's problem, or maybe everyone else has already figured it out. But like, I'm like, how do I figure out what to cover up, right? Um, like foiled elements, especially on the full boxes. I'm like, I don't want to cover up more of my foil on my full boxes than I already am. Because like the foil is what makes it fun and exciting and sparkly. So like, what Katerina, what are you doing? um So that was like kind of one of the struggles I've been like kind of going through right now, is like, I don't know, I feel like I figured it out before, and now I'm like, how do I do this again? um and now yeah, I didn't, like I said, I didn't really have a game plan for this center horizontal sidebar, whatever we want to call this. And like, it's not like I dislike how it turned out. It's just I wish I had thought more about it. But since I didn't have a lot of like deco, and in all honesty, I kind of, will I say I forgot? I guess I kind of forgot that I had the pumpkin deco from Paper Trail Plans sitting over there. I like kind of laser focused on the fact that I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm like, okay, we'll just throw stuff down. That I didn't like take the time to look, because I had them there. I definitely had the stickers there. I just didn't look at them. Um, so it's a lesson to, before you make any moves, before you lay anything down, assess if it's what you really want to do and take a look around, and maybe you'll find something else that might work instead. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just like, what do I do? And but let me do say that that I am very pleased with what happened, because if I didn't go down this path, I wouldn't have like found that I liked layering these washy watercolor or inks, alcohol inks, on top of these boxes, and creating kind of that organic look, as if something like just dropped on the page, which was really neat. So that's kind of the base. Now we're on to the day by day. On the day by day, as we always do, we start with a coffee Monday. Um, and there were a lot of kind of the full length label boxes. I think that's what they're called in this kit. And in a lot of the kits around this time. And I like struggle with those, because I don't know. I like to layer decorations, but in my head, if it like spans the full width of the column, I'm like, where do I put the decoration? Um, it's a weird mental thing. I don't know why I am like that, but I am. So we start with coffee Monday. I was like really weirdly hungry this day. I have no idea why, but I just was. Then my cats were just up all night, and they just kept waking me up, and I was worried they'd wake my son up. I do not know if I don't remember if he did or not, but still, they were just being little jerks all night. Um, on Tuesday, we start with a Dr. Coffee run. Then what was I guess my day was not eventful. I'm going to mark, there we go. I'm going to mark a planning sesh with these stickers. And I'm making a use of a lot of like elements in my collection. So like a lot of $2 Tuesdays from previous years, since we don't really do those anymore. Just to jazz up the spread, I guess. The last thing I'm going to mark there is that we had Five Guys for dinner on a Wednesday. We started the day with some work drama. Work drama is not fun. I mean, I'm not directly involved, but it's still not fun. Then I marked that I ran laundry, and then I'm going to mark that I cleaned the kitchen. I don't know which one I hate more, cleaning the kitchen or running laundry. They're both equally bad. In my opinion, they're both equally bad. On the next day, which is Thursday, oh my goodness, that's right. This is when those docs. So this document reformat project, we have made a major milestone. Since this time, we have now approved them, and they're going to be made effective soon. So this was one of the last hurdles, which was performing the final review. I think the final review was done, and so I had to go clean up all the documents, remove all the track changes, and make them all pretty, make sure the page numbers were right. It was a glorious feeling having those final steps be almost done. Like, it's been a project almost like 2-3 years in the making, and it's like it's such a great feeling to finally have it be done. At least one hurdle be done. Then throughout the course of the day, I watched the presidential debate on my computer, even though I marked it with a TV stand, but potatoes. And then my son was crazy at that time. He's been like jumping and splashing, and he's just been a goofy little guy. So it's very cute. Makes bath time very long, but it's very cute. On what day are we on? On Friday. Yes, I had to come in late to work on Friday because I had to pick up the check from the insurance company. The check was not for me, but I picked it up on behalf of my dad since I'm closer to the office. Then I posted my Q2 flip, and a coworker, my husband's coworker, had found the tunnels, like these tunnel, like not plastic, they're not plastic, but these tunnels that kids could like crawl through, and Bub is of an age now where he enjoys crawling through them. So we play tunnels, which is not great for me, but I am small enough to fit through the tunnels. On Saturday, yes, Saturday. I bought, or I pre-ordered, the Pretty Pink Co. advent calendar, which is very exciting because this will be my first year getting an advent calendar, a sticker advent calendar. We used to do chocolate advent calendars, but I don't really care for chocolate advent calendars, so like this is more exciting for me. I just got the weekly kit with the both colored and foiled option, if anyone's curious. We also got fancy cupcakes. I filmed a Bujo with me. Which Bujo with me was this one? I don't think this was the October setup because I remember setting that up pretty close to October. So this must have been a weekly one. Sunday we did a Target run. I did laundry and vacuumed the house, and for some reason Bub just wasn't like feeling great. We don't know if it was like a sickness or anything. Kids. He doesn't even go to daycare, but he wasn't feeling great. So I can only imagine how it is when he goes to daycare. I've heard horror stories. So this is the final spread. Not a lot of like intricate layering or scene generation, but sometimes like you got to just do a spread that just is like, you let the stickers do whatever they want, and this is one of those spreads. So that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you liked the video, left me a comment with any of your thoughts, and subscribe to my little channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!